Hi everyone, my name is Oluremi Otosho. I'm a fashion designer and a pattern tutor. Um, in this video, I just want to quickly show you how to take accurate measurements for a good fitting pants. I have my mannequin here and I have my tape measure. So the first thing you want to do if you're designing pants for a client or maybe for yourself is to ensure that you have accurate measurements of the person you're designing for. So the first measurement I'll be taking here is the length of the pant. I want to ensure that whatever length I take is the length that I want for that particular style of pant. We have various types of pants. Um, you could have one that is down to the ankle, a bit above the ankle, that we call capri. There is one that is called Bermuda. All these terms are dependent on the length of the pants. You have your short, you have your pedal pusher, which is around the knee, various types of pants. So you need to first know, okay, what type of pants am I designing and what is the length of this pant, either by way of design or by client's preference. So, but for this class, I'll be taking the one that which is down to the ankle, and it's that's the longest you can have for pants. So, this is a mannequin, so it won't really show ankle particularly, but just ensure that it gets to your ankle. For people that wear heels, you might want to add maybe like 3 or 4 inches, especially if you are designing the palazzo pants. If it's pleated pants, it shouldn't be too long. Even if the person is wearing heels, it should just be at the ankle, sitting on the ankle. But if it's wide leg pants that has to flow, you might want to add 2 or 3 inches based on client's preference and all of that. So after that, you want to measure your waist. Very important, and one of the most important measurements for your pants. So you take your tape measure around your waist. It must not sag. It must just be sitting around the waist firmly. Not too tight, firmly enough for you to get accurate feel. You might, however, add some ease depending on the kind of pants you want to. So my measurement here is 27 inches for this waist. So I will record. Then I come to my hip. The hip is the widest part of the lower part of the body. So you want to ensure that you measure around the widest part, around to the back, on the arm. You can see it is firm enough. Then you record. I have 37. Now I have 36.5 here, so I'll record that. There are 2 other measurements that are very important. The crotch depth and the crotch length. 2 of them are different. So for the crotch depth, the description of the crotch depth is just the measurements you take from the waist down to the level where the pants or where your leg bifurcates into 2. That is where your leg divides into 2. So it's usually from the waist to the level of the butt. But you can't measure it while standing. If you measure standing, you won't get an accurate measurement. You measure it seated, that's why they call it seat. So you have your clients sit on a flat surface, and then you are going to measure at the side. The person sits on the flat surface, then you take your tape from the side, where the band level on the side to the seat, to the level of the flat surface where your client is sitting. That is your seat or your crotch depth. Then the last measurement is your crotch length. Like I said, the 2 of them are different, but they are related in a way. So that crotch length is measured in between the legs from the center front waist where you have your band. It crosses under the crotch and then goes to the back, to the level of the band at the back. So that's how you measure your crotch length. This length is very important because it determines the length of your crotch, how low the crotch is on the body when the person is wearing the pants. Usually for fitted pants, it shouldn't be loose in any way. It should be well fitted. But if you have if you are designing a palazzo like the one I'm wearing now, I have created some allowance in between. After measuring like this around, and see, it's not difficult, just do it this way. Yeah. So after measuring this way, I have some allowance in between because it is a free leg pant. It will look funny if it is too tight around the crotch. So you might want to add maybe 1 or 1.5 inches allowance, or 2 inches, depending on how the size of the person. If the person is on the bigger side, you want to add like just for freedom, like 2 inches to the crotch length, so that there will be more freedom. It looks better that way if you're designing palazzo or wide leg pants. So that's the measurements that those are the measurements that you're taking. So there are some other measurements that you need when you're designing for your pants that I didn't mention earlier, which is the measurements around your thigh, around your knee, and around your ankle. For pants that are tight fitted, it's very important to get this accurate. But also, if you're designing pants that are wide leg, maybe like the lot of palazzo, it's also important that you get these measurements because it will be your reference to know how much piece you want to add to all of these measurements. So, one of such measurements is first the measurement around the upper thigh, just below the crotch. We can measure on the one leg. You want to ensure that the measurement around this place is accurate and a bit loose around the upper thigh, especially so that you don't make it too tight because you don't want to you want to ensure that the movement is easy. If you're designing and using a fabric that is not stretchy, if you measure too tightly, there might be a problem. But if you're designing pants using material that are stretchy, you might still go tight and you get a good fit. But for your normal regular fabrics, just ensure that your measurement is not too tight. You can put a finger under that measurement. See, I added a finger under the measurement so that it will not be impeding movement as much as possible. So that is around the upper thigh. You might also want to do your mid thigh, but that's not really important if you are not doing the tight fitted part. But if it's tight fitted, you want to get very clean the pants. You might want to measure around your mid thigh. That is below well below the crotch, but not to the it won't reach the knee. Then you measure around your knee also, like you did for the thigh, like that. Then you can also measure around the ankle, but that's also optional because you might just want to reduce the knee measurement a bit, maybe like 1 or 2 inches, so that your pants is easy to wear from your ankle. I have a pants masterclass coming up in March, and in this class I will be breaking down all of these measurements and how to apply them to get a good fitted pants, especially like drafting patterns for your pants. It's It's going to run for the whole of March, all Wednesdays and Thursdays in the month of March, 4 to 6 p.m. daily, and it's just 50K. In this class, you'll be learning a lot about plants. You don't even need to know how to draft pattern at all before you come to this class. All you need to know is how to read and write and how to take measurements. And then I'll be taking you through all that you need to know, all the calculations, because there are some calculations that you do when you're designing pants. I'll be taking you in all, I'll be teaching you all of this, and then various types of pants and how to achieve them. I mentioned earlier, I was talking about the capri pants, the toreado pants. These are names given to pants based on their length and all of that. You'll be learning that how to do various designs of pants in this class. So it's going to be long for the whole of the March. You can go and register for this class if you haven't. The link for registration is in the caption below, and I'll see you in class. Thank you.